Back to Philly Sports Unfiltered. Guys, today we are talking some birds, and we are talking about 5 must-do moves the birds should make before the start of training camp. And I just want to say this before the video starts off. I think the roster that we have already is great. I'm already seeing a great season for the birds coming up. But if we can make these 5 moves before training camp, we're going to be in an even better position. So let's jump straight into these moves. First move I want the birds to make before training camp is trading for Jessie Bates. Jessie Bates is legit one of the top safeties in the league. If we look at our depth chart here on the safeties, safety, as I said in my defensive video, safety is our worst position group on the team. I do like what I see from Marcus Epps. I'm happy with where he's at for the type of player that he is at this stage in his career. But at large, other than, last season, he's an unknown quantity. Anthony Harris, I'm very lukewarm on, and we just don't really have any depth. I do like the addition of Jaquiski Tartt. But the Jessie Bates situation is very interesting. Jessie Bates has been franchise tagged by the Cincinnati Bengals. He's making about $12 million for next season, but he's adamant, 100%. He said he will not play on that franchise tag, and the Bengals do not want to give him money. So he's in prime territory to be a trade candidate, and the word is that the birds are interested in him. Now, who exactly is Jessie Bates? Jessie Bates is easily a top 3 or a top 4 safety in the NFL. According to Pro Football Focus, he is the number 4 ranked coverage free safety in the NFL. And according to CBS Sports, Jessie Bates is the top 3 overall safety in all of the NFL. Now, we do know that safety is a bit of an undervalued position, but Jessie Bates last year, he had a little bit of a struggle during the regular season compared to what his past performance was. But then in the playoffs, he balled out. He had 2 interceptions. And basically, quarterbacks were only completing about 36% of their passes against him. When we're looking at how we were looking on the birds last year, we had quarterbacks completing 85% of their passes. Jessie Bates would be a huge upgrade to defending the opposing team's quarterback. He would immediately make us a better team. And because safety is undervalued, I do think that we could get him for a fairly decent deal. So I want to see this happen. All right. My second move that I want to see happen before training camp is I want the Eagles to either cut or trade Jalen Reagor. I don't care about the cap. I understand we're on the hook for $10 million with him with the cap. But my point is this. Having him on the roster as a first-round pick, it is too great of a temptation for Howie Roseman, for Nick Sirianni to feel like you have to use the guy. And them feeling like they had to use Jalen Reagor last year with as much play as he got, it made us a much worse football team. It stunted the development of Jalen Hurts. I just want the guy off the team. If we look at our depth chart right now at wide receiver, obviously A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, it's a 1-2 punch in the NFL that is one of the best in the league. And then Quez, I really like where he's tracking with his development as that number 3 option. Obviously, we added Zach Pascal. We still have Greg Ward, John Hightower. Ask yourself this question. Is Jalen Reagor, is he even a top 5 wide receiver on this team? I don't think that he is. I want the man gone. Whether you trade him, whether you cut him, I don't care. I just want him off the team because I think he hurts the team, bottom line. My number 3 move is to trade Andre Dillard. Now, I really like how Andre Dillard played last year. I liked having him as a backup tackle. I really like what he's done in the offseason with his body. I think he's really getting in shape. He wants another contract. He wants to have a career beyond what he's done during his first contract in the NFL. But if we're looking at our offensive line depth chart, this is by far our strongest position group on the team. We have depth for days. And rather than just letting this man walk away at the end of the season and getting nothing back for him, maybe we can use him in a Jessie Bates trade. Maybe we give the Bengals Dillard and maybe a 3rd round pick and we get back Jessie Bates. Or maybe we just trade him to another team, maybe for a 4th, maybe for a 5th. You never know, okay? Sometimes the Eagles, they really knock it out of the park with some of these later round picks. I mean, you look at Mailata, what was the guy? A 7th round draft pick, and he's getting ready to, probably be a Pro Bowler this year. So I would trade Dillard. I think we have enough depth, and I want to stack up some picks for next year. That's just me. The fourth move that I would like to see the Eagles do is I would like to see the Eagles trade Gardner Minshew. Now, I'm very high on Gardner Minshew. I think he's the best backup quarterback in the entire NFL. But I'm very high on Jalen Hurts, number one. I think he's going to have a tremendous season. And I am also feeling pretty comfortable with what we have seen and heard about Carson Strong so far. I think Carson Strong is a guy, he has good size. He's a very accurate passer. He has a big arm. The only thing there is an injury concern, but if you put that to the side, Carson Strong could be a really, really good backup quarterback for a good number of years for this team. And I feel like there's going to be a team, because quarterback is such a highly valued position, there's going to be some team that's going to be crazy enough to give us a 3rd round pick for Gardner Minshew. And if we can find that, I'm ready to pull the trigger. I really love him as a backup. I think he can start for a lot of teams in the NFL. If we can get a 3rd round pick, hey, even a 4th round pick for Gardner Minshew, stock up even more for next year's draft, I am all in on that. Now, my 5th move, okay? My 5th and final move that I want to see before training camp is to extend Miles Sanders. We all know that Miles Sanders, he is heading into a contract year. He's extremely motivated. He's been working on his body. He's been working on his mental game. He is fully committed to showing that he can be an every down back in the NFL. But why do I want to extend him now? I want to extend him right now because I feel like before this season, you can get Miles Sanders at an incredible value. I think right now, if we extended him, if we gave him a 3-year deal, we could get him for something like 3 years, $12 million. He's had a bit of an injury history. He hasn't been an every down back, but we fail to understand just how dynamic and consistent he's been when he's been on the field. The man has averaged 5.5 yards per carry last year, and across his career, 5.1 yards per carry. If you're looking at from his rookie year until now, his average yards per carry is something like top 3 in the NFL. I really think he's going to put it together this year, and my fear is if we wait until the end of the year to extend him, that 4-year, $12 million deal is not going to be possible, and he's just going to get more expensive. I say do the Howie thing, extend him early, extend him now. I like Miles Sanders. I want him to stay on the team for a few more years at a reasonable price. So those are my 5 moves, okay? Number 1, let's get Jessie Bates in here. Let's improve the worst position group on the team. Cut Jalen Reagor. He's a liability. He's just is a detriment, and I don't care what the cost is. Trade Andre Dillard. Maybe use him in a Jessie Bates trade, or just use him to regain some draft capital. Trade Gardner Minshew for draft capital, and extend Miles Sanders. Those are my moves, but I want to ask you, what are your moves that you want to do before training camp? And what type of value do you think we could get back in an Andre Dillard or a Gardner Minshew trade? Do you think we can get a 4th round pick, a 5th round pick, a 3rd round pick? And if you were to offer Miles Sanders a contract today, what would be your deal? My deal would be 3 years, $12 million right now. Let me know what your guys' opinions on this. Weigh in the comment section below. And as always, guys, if you find that you are enjoying the content, please consider subscribing, hitting that thumbs up button. And until the next time, guys, go Birds.